Hey everyone, another video today, and we're going over should you really wait until 70 for your Social Security, right? In some cases, yeah, you could, but in some cases, maybe you shouldn't. I want to maybe why that's the case and why you might want to take your benefits actually earlier than later. Okay, so go over a couple of things here. So, one, Social Security. Okay, let me look at this. There's a couple of things going on. One, the longer you wait, for those who know, you get an 8% bump up every single year. Right? So from your full retirement age, that's at 66 to 67, and if you wait till 70, you're going to receive 32% more than what you would have gotten at your full retirement age. It's a big increase. Some people want to wait until that 70 mark, but that might not be the best move for you. And what you know about Social Security is that there is not the right answer for what age everybody should take it. This is not how it works. Everyone's gonna be a little bit different depending on your situation and what's going on. So in this video today, I'm gonna block off a couple of things that you need to be looking out for that might tell you that you should be taking Social Security earlier than what maybe your advisor or the people are telling you to do. All right. So first things first, longevity. Yeah. So probably the toughest one to figure out is how long are we gonna live? No one really knows, right? No one knows how long we're gonna be here for. We can't predict that. But there's some ways to kind of figure that out. For one, how long your parents lived. If you had a mom and a dad that both lived to 95 years old, I would say there's a likelihood that could be the same case for you. Okay. If you have two parents who lived to 72, all right, and you're not in the best health today, you might want to say, longevity might not be as long as someone else who might live to 90. So longevity is the first thing. And how long does that longevity have to be for it to make sense to take it at age 70? Well, kind of the rule of thumb here. If we go from full retirement age to 70, the break-even point is 79 years old. Meaning if we lived past 79, right, we would have gotten more money from Social Security if we took it at 70. If we took it earlier at 67 or 66 and 8 months, whatever your date might be, you are better off taking it earlier if we don't live longer than 79. Right, you get more money in total with us. That's the first you got to look at is longevity. Toughest one, though, is no one really knows. Okay? That's what you want to kind of look at and see, hey, like, does that make sense or not on that? It's just the first thing. Okay. The second thing is taxes. Yeah, taxes. So taxes can play a role here. And in this case, actually more kind of lack of taxes. So if you tell your accounts today, you gotta look and see what accounts tax-wise you have. You might have some Roth accounts, some IRA accounts. You could have some taxable accounts, like a brokerage account or individual account, okay, where it's a stocks that you pay capital gains on. This is important because for Social Security, all right, if we're gonna wait till 70, all right, that's gonna be a larger payment on Social Security we're gonna get, of course. And is that gonna be more tax efficient than the other accounts that we have working for us as well? Because let's say you retire at 67, the question becomes, do you want to take more from your retirement accounts in the next 3 years and then take Social Security later on? Or is it better to take Social Security and let your retirement accounts grow a little bit going forward? So one thing to kind of look at, if we're doing the math here, is let's say you have a Roth account and you converted all your money to Roth. That's all you have. So it grows tax-free. Well, if we took Social Security earlier, right, we can let our Roth accounts grow a little bit more tax efficiently. And if your income level, right, is going to be covered by Social Security at 67, okay, and that's, you don't need anything more than that, or maybe it's very minimal, then maybe taking it earlier makes sense, right? Because if your income for Social Security is $3,000 a month at your full retirement age, and your expenses are the same or a little bit higher, you're like $3,500, you don't have a big gap. Well, taking it earlier might make a lot of sense because now your Roth account can grow tax-free, tax efficiently here in the future. Okay, so situationally, we're going to look at this and say, hey, well, what helps us in the long run? And if your goal maybe is to give more money to your heirs, right? You have this Roth account you built up, you want to give it to charity or give it to your kids, whatever it may be, and taking Social Security a bit earlier might give you a better result potentially on that end. Now, we have all IRA money. We might want to take Social Security later because you got to pay tax on this money on the line. Some other stuff kind of happens there on that end. So again, situationally, I'll look and see what your accounts are invested in and what the tax implications are when we look at this. Another one I kind of mentioned within here is our income need. And if you need the income, you should probably take it earlier. Now, if we don't need the income, maybe you want to wait later. But if it covers everything and you're pretty much, hey, this amount will pretty much suit my needs. And if I get the COLA inflation every year with Social Security, I'll be covered, I'll be good. And then you should probably just take it earlier. All right, so that's something to kind of think about on your end, whether you want to wait till 70 or maybe you want to actually take it earlier than 70. Okay. The other thing you might want to think about is if you're working or not. Like if someone retires at 67, you might want to take Social Security at that point. Or if you're going to keep working, then yeah, maybe it does make sense to wait till 70. All right, that could make sense there. You wait. For some people, maybe you want to take it even earlier. There's a new rule, actually, kind of a trick you can use Social Security. Let's say you stop working at 62. And this is kind of a rare circumstance. But let's say you're 62 and maybe you had a business that you sold, or you retired from your job, or whatever may have happened, and you had a non-compete, meaning you can't do what you did for a couple more years. So as you had a business and you sold it, you have a 5-year non-compete. I mean, you can't work in your industry anymore. You might say, all right, I'm going to retire. But in 5 years, maybe I want to come back into it. Again, a weird circumstance, but maybe you want to take Social Security at 62. And you could take it from 62 all the way to 67. Get some extra income those years that you're retired. And then you want to go back to work now at 67. Non-compete's up, you want to go back into it. This is kind of unique here. You could actually suspend your Social Security benefits at 67. And you don't get them anymore. And they'll grow by 8% a year all the way up until age 70. So we can suspend our benefits at 67. And we can now work a couple more years in the industry that you love. You like doing it, some consulting work, whatever it may be. But you're making enough money where you don't need Social Security for a couple of years. You grow by 32% your Social Security payment over that 3-year span there, 4-year span, right? And now we get to 70, and your Social Security will start back up again at that point in time. So really unique, all right? But that's where you might want to take it early and then wait till 70. So again, different ways to look at this, folks. Frankly, it's all about situationally where you're at today. Don't let anyone tell you that you should take Social Security at a certain age no matter what. That's not the case. Everybody's a little bit different, and there's strategies that you can use within Social Security to give you the most amount of money. But make sure you're looking at your situation, your longevity, your tax situation, what accounts you're going to be pulling from in your retirement. If you have a weird situation like this, where you're working and not working and working again, right? All this stuff plays a factor. And something that you should definitely recognize as you're deciding when to take Social Security and what that looks like. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Really do appreciate it. Any more information you want about Social Security, we have more videos on our channel. Check it out, and we'll talk to you soon.